Easy now.
Why are you bringing me here?
So you can sober up, in case you give away your identity and cause trouble. Come on. Yeah. Sorry for nagging, but you can't drink like that again. Don't forget that you're a girl.
When I was drinking that wine, I remembered something from my childhood. The emotion hit me, and I got carried away. Thank you for your concern. I shouldn't have drunk that much, and almost caused problems.
There's another thing you must always remember. Don't get too close to the Crown Prince, or drink so much with him, as you did earlier.
I understand why I shouldn't drink, but why shouldn't I get close to His Highness? He is a kind man. You're also devoted to assisting him. Are you like Senior Sun, and you don't want me to get involved in the struggle between the Crown Prince and Prince Hao? I help whoever deserves it. I'm not afraid.
You're right, but also wrong. I not only fear you'll get involved, but also... But also
what? Tell me. When you argue with me, you're always so quick. Why are you so slow today?
His Highness thinks highly of you. He believes you're a man, and he wants you to work for him in the palace. That could cause some problems.
I already changed the dressing for you, so what's the problem?
If you went to work for His Highness and needed to help him with bathing, changing, what would you do?
I've never thought of it before. Oh, jeez. I never wanted to work for His Highness. I must stay at the wardrobe service.
I really don't understand you. Maybe because you grew up in the body disposal. You're more careless than ordinary girls. You are. You must always remember, men and women are different. Your greatest danger is your identity.
Except my mother and Senior Sun, no one's ever been so nice to me. Or cared so much for me as you have.
Could you tell me how exactly your mother was wronged? And who your enemy is? I can help you. I really can.
I'm sorry, but I can't tell you. I don't want to get you involved.
Even if you don't tell me, I'll try to figure out who your enemy is. That's the only way I can fully protect you.
It's time for dinner. You're all dismissed.
Let's go. I haven't finished yet.
Tidy up very
Come on,
quickly,
hurry up.
and we can just
Let's go.
To get this done, though.
Gosh, if I don't finish this soon, I'm gonna be annoyed with myself. But I'm so hungry.
Be quick, you two. It's New Year's. There's more food than usual. If we're late, we won't get any. Fine.
So fast enough, we can go eat.
Let's
and
go.
Come back maybe tomorrow.
Yaran.
and finish up.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yaran. Forget about him. Master Joy is drawing in the embroidery room. He won't let any chance to impress her passing by. He'd love it if we all left at the same time. Let's go.
Wait, it is my absolute favorite. So many extra dishes today. I'm so excited.
Master, it's time for dinner.
Have they all gone?
Yes, everyone went to eat except for Dolze.
Dolze?
Mm-hmm.
You mean he's begun the design for Concubine Wu?
He's sketching a new pattern, but I didn't have a chance to take a good look at it.
Stop, that's enough.
Huh?
Go and see what Dolze's drawing and who the design is for. Huh? Go, go. Hey, hey. Get lots of details. Go.
Tinyang, come and have a look. What do you think of my sketch?
It's homage to the Phoenix?
That's right.
This is the most exquisite homage to the Phoenix design I've ever seen. No wonder Master thinks so highly of you. You really do have better ideas and skills than all the other tailors in the wardrobe service.
You flatter me, Tinyang. I don't deserve such an honor. Master Jewel asked us to put our heads together today. I've been thinking about what Consort Yang may want. Then I decided on sketching out this design.
I don't understand. Why would Consort Yang like this design in particular?
After the late emperor passed away, there's yet to be a new empress. His Majesty spoils Consort Yang. She's the only consort who nearly became the next empress. Considering herself distinguished, she wants dresses that are unique and different to distinguish herself from other consorts.
Oh, that does make some sense. But if Consort Yang wanted this, why didn't you tell us directly instead of getting us to guess?
You don't get it. In the Imperial Palace, not everything can be described with words. Consort Yang can't tell us something like this. We have to try and figure out what our seniors want and satisfy them to the best of our ability. Once we satisfy Consort Yang, we are all gonna have a bright future.
Hey, Dolze! You have the nerve! You've only been here a few days. I've given you special treatment, but it's gone to your head. And now, you want to steal the Master's role right from under my nose. You can forget it. You won't succeed unless I'm dead.
Master Duo, you misunderstand. I wouldn't dare take credit for myself. I'm planning to give this pattern to you after I finish it. I know that all of our ideas belong to Master Duo's, as are all our merits. They all belong to you. I'm just trying to share in your burden.
You always have an answer ready, don't you? As long as you know how things work.
Is this homage to the Phoenix?
That's right, Your Grace. You are exactly right. You're the consort most highly adored by His Majesty. The past few years, His Majesty has asked you to manage the harem, and now you're hosting the Ulambana banquet. This design here is the most suitable one for your unique status.
Master Joshua has fine taste. Her Grace almost became the next Empress. But in His Majesty's heart, she already is.
Danqing, say no more. Master Zhuo, this is very thoughtful of you. I approve. But you also need to be very careful with the embroidery work, so it does not go to waste.
Your Grace, I stayed up late last night, working on an idea.
Speak.
If we were to use the feathers of peacocks and other birds as ornamentation, it would strengthen the theme of the Phoenix and highlight your noble status in His Majesty's heart and life.
Master Zhuo, excellent plan. Do as you've described. Give it your all.
Thank you for your trust. I shall surely spare no effort.
Your Grace, Dozi is here.
Greetings, Concubine Wu. Over the past few days, I've carefully designed a couple of patterns. I've come to show them to you.
Well done. Let me have a look. We don't need you at the moment. You may leave.
Yes. Your Grace, your ginseng soup.
Leave it there. Where's Yulio? Is she slacking off again?
She has a matter to attend to. I just happened to be free, so I've brought it to you.
In my opinion, the peony pattern looks the best. The peony is the queen of flowers. It represents wealth and carries auspicious meaning.
If you use this pattern, I believe that I could use the most valuable gold silk thread to embroider the petals, and jade from Mount Tianshan as leaves, so as to give it an exquisite look.
Very well. You may begin working on it. Ah, by the way, keep it secret from everyone else. It's no issue if it is copied, but if someone else wears the same dress, it would be a disaster.
Yes, I understand.
Your Grace, there's news from Song Tao.
Tell me.
Douzi has sketched many designs for concubine Wu to choose from. She has decided on a peony theme. They plan to use gold silk for the petals and jade from Mount Tianshan for the leaves to make the pattern look exquisite.
Peonies. Concubine Wu is indeed ambitious. Fortunately, I've planted someone near her. I'm afraid the Master Zhuo remains in ignorance and believes that Concubine Wu doesn't want to show off in front of others.
Your Grace, why don't we ask Master Zhuo to hide the gold silk thread and the Tianshan jade so that Douzi will have no materials?
That's unnecessary. I'd rather have Douzi complete the dress.
Your Grace, I don't understand.
Concubine Wu is clever, but she's young and naive and overestimates herself. How dare she use a peony design? The peony was the favorite of Empress Zhang Sun. Concubine Wu is but a simple concubine. Whenever His Majesty spoils her, it all goes to her head. How dare she make a peony dress? She is overstepping.
Left guard. Has Mo Kun arrived?
Yes, he has. He is inside.
Mr. Pei.
Mr. Mo, how have you been? Come on. It must have been a long trip. I've been busy. Otherwise, I would have greeted you at the gate. The Crown Prince issued your transfer order. He would often ask when you would arrive at Chang'an.
I am grateful to His Highness for his appreciation and care.
Be seated.
I just heard you defeated Pu Banu and were promoted to left guard. I was so delighted. How I wish I could have witnessed that impressive duel.
You flatter me. We must do all we can for His Highness, and never disappoint him no matter what.
I won't disappoint him. There is no way I will ever give up on my childhood dream.
There's a transfer order, but formalities are not done. You can take a couple days off.
Huh? Oh, I hate muddling along. Mr. Pei, why don't you give me some work?
I do have a task that you could help me with if you wish. But you must keep it a secret. Never let anyone know.
Tell me what it is, and I shall help you.
I want to figure out the relationship between Kuti Yanzhong from Chonghua and the palace. There may be some clues in the Imperial files, but I'm not sure.
Who's this Kuti Yanzhong person? Why do you want to know about him?
I have a friend who's in trouble, but she won't explain it to me. I have tried helping her secretly, hoping she'll figure it out herself.
Oh. Well, if it's not convenient to explain, then I'll stop asking. I'll try my best to find out.
Thank you kindly. Let's have some tea.
Director Lee! Director Lee? Director Lee!
Miss An's case. Isn't Miss An Douzi's mother?
Oh, Shengze.
Director Lee.
When you were locked up last month, another eunuch was sent to give me the files. I felt so sorry for you. So it looks like you're off the hook.
Thank you for your concern, Director Lee. I nearly died making that file and sending it to you.
I'm glad you've come. Let's have a talk.
Director Lee, isn't this a case that had happened over a decade ago? Why have you taken out such an old file?
I have no idea of the reason, but the left guard asked for it. They first reviewed the case in the court, then came to us for the file. Look, I went to great lengths to get this file. Later on, I'll show it to them.
Why is the left guard suddenly checking on Miss An's case?
How would I dare ask that? They asked for it, so I got it. If someone wants to check, there must be some trouble. I'd rather stay out of it. What's the use in the details?
Director Lee.
Deputy Chief Mo.
Have you located the file I asked for?
I have. Please check if it's the right one.
Why are men from the left guard looking up Master An's case? Are they trying to track down Doza?
Master, I think you might be right. Do you know who the new left guard who just transferred is? It's Pei Xingjian, whom Doza came to know outside of the palace. He's now the personal bodyguard of the Crown Prince. His duty is to secure the Eastern Palace. Doza has become close to His Highness. This will certainly make others jealous. Then Pei Xingjian suddenly goes to all lengths to look up that old case. It won't be long before he finds out who Doza is.
You're right. Once Pei Xingjian realizes that Doza is in fact Liu Li, then I'm afraid he'll show no mercy for justice or for himself. That Doza. How many times have I told her not to race to the top or get too close to influential people? But she never listens.
Master, do you think we're imagining things? Doza saved Pei Xingjian. I don't think he'd bite the hand that feeds him.
The human heart can be dark. We must be careful. If he wasn't trying to hurt Doza, why would he send men to check on the old case in the Court of Judicial Review and Discipline Service?
Master, Concubine Yang and Prince Hao aren't on good terms with the Crown Prince. And Miss An's case had something to do with Concubine Yang. It might be that Pei Xingjian is helping the Crown Prince keep an eye on Concubine Yang. That might be it.
I hope that's the case. Regardless, if he continues to look into it, it'll do no good for Doza.
Doza is hiding so many secrets, and is working under the one who killed her mother. Now, there's someone who could be a friend or foe, Pei Xingjian. Master, what do you think we should be doing now?
Shunzi, remember this. No matter what Pei Xingjian does, we must protect Doza at all costs. I'd rather put my own life at risk than to put her in danger. Shunzi, keep a close eye on what Consort Yang is up to. Whenever we're worried about Doza, she only tells us the good news. We must be careful and keep an eye on everything for her.
I will.
Mr. Pei.
Leave us.
Yes.
I thought it was odd that the first task you had me do was to investigate an ordinary man. Now I know why. As it turns out, it's related to Consort Yang, Prince Cao's mother. How clever of you.
related to Consort Yang?
11 years ago, His Majesty planned to make Consort Yang the Empress, but faced strong opposition. His Majesty had to give up. It was a high-profile issue that year. Do you remember that, Mr. Pei?
It happened when I came to Chang'an for the classics exam. So I remember some of it.
Kuti Yanzhong, the man you had me look into, turns out to be very ordinary. But the woman he married was not. She was the best weaver, who was famous throughout the land, Miss Anne. As recorded in the Court of Judicial Review, Miss Anne made a dress for Consort Yang for her crowning ceremony. But in the end, Consort Yang didn't become the Empress. Miss Anne was then punished for it. Finally, she killed herself in prison.
Wasn't Kuti Yezhong's wife, was it Miss Cao?
This Miss Cao you mentioned, she was actually his concubine. Before Miss Anne was caught, Kuti Yanzhong wrote a divorce letter and disassociated himself from Miss Anne. Since that time, he has only had one concubine and no wife. Miss Cao came from the dance office. She's greatly inferior to Miss Anne. Anne was the best weaver, a title bestowed by His Majesty. She managed the wardrobe service and won great favor from the Empress. She grew fed up with life in the palace. Then she asked Empress Changsun to be relieved of her post. Before long, Empress Changsun passed away, and Miss Anne vanished. No one expected her to marry such an ordinary man. It was not until she was detained that she became involved with the palace again.
Did Miss Anne have any children?
She had a daughter named Liu Li. She was only 7 when this all happened. She was locked in the discipline service along with her mother. I checked that file at the discipline service too. According to the records, Miss Anne strangled her daughter while in prison before hanging herself. What a poor girl. She died in the palace at such a young age.
You grew up in the palace, pretending to be a physician because she was a prisoner who survived an execution. That's the whole story. That's everything.
Mr. Pei?
Oh. I'm wondering if the wardrobe service would really have made that Empress's dress. Why would Miss Anne make it and give to Consort Yang? It doesn't add up. Did you check on that?
I'd like to know the answer to that question too. As recorded in the Court of Judicial Review, Miss Anne crafted the Empress's dress without His Majesty's permission, so as to flatter Consort Yang with her knowledge.
That's not right. Miss Anne gave up everything to leave the palace. She even left Empress Changsun. Why would she change her mind after a few years to make an Empress's dress at the risk of being called a rebel? It just doesn't make sense.
There was a rumor that Miss Anne didn't know how hard life outside would be, so she wished to come back.
Miss Anne was the best weaver as tilted by His Majesty. If she wanted to come back, wardrobe service would be happy to have her. Why would she take such a risk? Maybe when Consort Yang heard that His Majesty would make her the Empress, she asked Miss Anne to make the Empress's dress in secret. Unfortunately, she didn't become the Empress. The others found out about the dress, so Miss Anne took the blame.
This explanation sounds more reasonable than the motive that Miss Anne wished to rebel. Or perhaps someone else had flattered Consort Yang for their own benefit, then forced Miss Anne to make the dress. That's possible. But it was so long ago. Miss Anne killed herself in prison. There was no testimony.
Aside from her daughter, does Miss Anne have any other family?
Miss Anne was a Tartar. She had 2 older brothers, both Tartar merchants. One of the 2 brothers was Anne Salan, who runs a clothing shop in the West Market.
Is it Rui Clothing?
That's right.
After they passed away, where were their bodies taken? Are there any records?
They both died in prison, so they would be at the body disposal division.
Of course. It all makes sense now. Here's Miss Anne's daughter. She's the girl that concubine Wu asked me to take away, and who was later arrested by the Court Judicial Review. Sun Ducheng saved her from prison, then took her as his goddaughter, disguised her as a physician, and raised her at the body disposal division. Liu Li escaped from the palace, but she insisted on coming back and working at wardrobe. She must have discovered who gotten her mother killed and wants to avenge her death. I finally know who she is. Hey, Doza.
Huh? Shouldn't you be on duty at the Eastern Palace? What are you doing here?
I went looking for you, but I was told you'd gone to Xianchi Hall, so I waited for you here.
Why did you want to see me? Did something urgent happen?
Don't worry. I just want to tell you that I'm really glad to see you again.
Didn't we just see each other at His Highness's quarters the other day? You came all this way simply to tell me this?
I've confirmed something that makes me happy. I can't explain it right now. This isn't the right place for a long conversation. Tomorrow evening, I'll bring you something. I'm sure once you see it, you'll like it.
What is it?
It's a surprise. Anyway, I'm just really glad to see you again. Dad and... I think we're destined to meet.
Catch him!
Catch them!
Stop! Go get him!
Down!
Yoli, I searched for you for 11 years. I never expected you'd be right by my side. Finally, I can return to you what's yours. I'm sure you'd be very, very excited to see it.
Master, if you want to know what kind of dress those will make for concubine Wu, you could have just asked him. You're a master of the wardrobe service. If he catches you searching his bedroom, if he were to find out, it would be inappropriate.
If I had managed to ask him, why would I search his room like this? Don't be so uptight. I sent Doza away to do some work.
I just fear that if he sees you, you'd lose face.
Concubine Wu has asked for Doza to make her dress. They're being secretive about it. It's clear that they're surely up to something to make Concubine Wu stand out at the Ulaanbaatar banquet. Concubine Yang is also making a determined effort to be the most attractive. If we fail to figure out what Concubine Wu will be wearing and make an inferior dress for Concubine Yang, causing her to lose face, I won't be able to look at myself in the mirror. Don't just stand there. Help me look for it. find it?
Yes, Master.
I found it.
Huh?
I knew something wasn't quite right. Now I get it.
Master, what do you mean by that?
None of your business. Concubine Wu and Dozi think they're so clever, but this time, they will lose at their own game. Concubine Yang doesn't usually play tricks. But when she does, it's absolutely genius and merciless.
My mother owned something very precious that someone coveted. And to get his hands on it, he tried to kill both my mother and me. He succeeded with her. Some kind men saved me. And I struggled very hard to stay alive while hiding myself. I disguised myself as a male physician, simply to survive.
That's it. It all makes sense now. Zhou Jinyang had Master An killed and went after Liu Li because she wanted the golden needle and the secrets of Miss An's craft. I nearly endangered Liu Li. If I gave her the golden needle now, it would bring her nothing but trouble. By that time, she won't be able to protect the golden needle or her mother's secrets, or even her own life. Where are you heading so fast, without looking where you're going?
Don't get me started. Zhou Jingyang's mad. She gave me a whole pile of work and said I only had 6 hours to finish. I left so hurriedly that I forgot to bring my tools with me. I'm going back for them. I don't have time to talk to you.
You can't go back.
Why not?
She sent you away so she could search your bedroom. If you go back there now, there'll be trouble.
So that's why. She gave me so much work. She needed an excuse. Well, let her search then. I'm not scared.
It's not safe to talk here. I'll see you at dusk, over by Tongchun Lake, all right?
Changchun Lake? All right. See you there.
Master, Concubine Yang suddenly changed her manner and isn't holding anything back. She's open about her intentions. I also hear that her courtiers are spending a lot of money collecting feathers, simply to flatter Prince Hao and Concubine Yang. As a result, the value of birds in Chang'an is soaring, and feathers of rare birds are particularly hard to find.
No matter how much His Majesty loves Consort Yang, she isn't the Empress. I can't help but wonder if this has anything to do with Dozi. One of my eyelids keeps twitching after hearing your words. After hearing what you said, it's even worse now.
Dozi is taking such a risk. Master, should we talk her out of all this?
If this has anything to do with Dozi, then there's no turning back for her. Even if she wants to stop, she won't be able to.
Mr. Pei.
Good evening.
Didn't you say you were delivering something to a friend? What are you doing here?
I thought about it, and I think it's better to hold on to it for her. That way, they'll both be safe. Speaking of which, why are you patrolling here?
One of the guards on night duty asked me for the evening off, and I offered to take his place. I haven't gotten any assignments yet. I'd like to patrol around and get my bearings.
I see. Then you better be on your way.
星